The cold wind bit through the layers of Victoria's designer coat as she guided Amara toward her car. The little girl hesitated at the Mercedes, glancing at her worn sneakers, her thin jacket with a broken zipper. "You don't have to. I can walk," Amara said, clutching a threadbare backpack to her chest. "Not a chance," Victoria replied firmly, opening the passenger door. "Get in. It's freezing." Amara slid into the leather seat, her tiny frame almost disappearing in the plush interior. The contrast between her fragile world and this life of luxury was striking. Victoria started the engine, sneaking glances at the child's face. Big, tired eyes stared at the dashboard like it was another planet. Before we begin, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. "Where's your mom?" Victoria asked softly as they drove past glowing streetlights. Amara hesitated, her small hands twisting the frayed strap of her bag. "She's gone. Daddy too. Just me now." The words hit Victoria like a punch to the gut. She swallowed hard, focusing on the road, her mind racing. A child, completely alone in this freezing city? Something about that didn't sit right. When they reached Victoria's penthouse, Amara's eyes widened at the towering glass building. "You live up there?" she whispered. Victoria smiled faintly. "Yeah, come on, I'll make you some hot cocoa." Inside, the warmth wrapped around them like a blanket. Amara stepped gingerly on the marble floors, staring at the chandelier like it was a fallen star. She clutched her backpack tighter, as if afraid someone might take it away. While Victoria prepared cocoa, she stole glances at the girl sitting stiffly on the edge of an expensive sofa. There was something haunting in her silence. She didn't whine, didn't fidget, just sat there, shoulders tense, like someone who had learned the hard way not to expect kindness. When Victoria set the steaming mug in front of her, Amara whispered, "Thank you, ma'am," before taking the tiniest sip. Victoria smiled. "Call me Victoria." Amara nodded slowly, her small fingers wrapping around the cup like it was the only warmth she had left in the world. Hours later, after Amara had fallen asleep curled up on the sofa, Victoria gently pulled a blanket over her. She noticed the backpack half open, revealing a tattered notebook and a faded photograph, a man and woman smiling, holding a baby. The name Amara was scribbled on the back in neat handwriting. Victoria felt a strange ache in her chest. This girl wasn't just a random child, she had a story, and Victoria had a feeling it was darker than she could imagine. The next morning, Victoria made pancakes. When Amara saw the plate, her eyes lit up like it was Christmas morning. "I can help wash the dishes," she offered quickly, standing on tiptoe to reach the sink. Victoria laughed softly. "Don't worry about it. Just eat." As Amara ate, Victoria asked, "Do you have any relatives? Anyone I can call?" Amara's fork froze midair. Her face clouded over. "No, nobody." Victoria frowned. "What about school? Friends?" "I stopped going after." Her voice trailed off. She looked down at her plate, blinking hard. Victoria didn't push, but inside, a storm was brewing. How long had this child been on her own? And why wasn't anyone looking for her? That evening, Victoria sat on the edge of her bed, scrolling through her phone, trying to find answers. She typed Amara missing child into the search bar. Nothing. Then she searched the names written inside the notebook. One hit, a small news article, nearly a year old. Couple dies in tragic car accident. Survived by one daughter. Victoria's breath caught. The names matched. This little girl had lost everything in one night. And from the looks of it, nobody stepped in to help her. Until now. But just as Victoria decided to call child services, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Step away from the girl. You don't know what you're getting into." Victoria froze, staring at the screen. Her pulse pounded in her ears. Who would send that? And why? Victoria drove in silence for a while, glancing at the small figure curled up in the back seat. Amara clutched her threadbare backpack to her chest like it was the only thing she owned in the world. The city lights blurred past as Victoria tried to piece together what had just happened. A lonely child outside a diner, abandoned by her father? Or was it something worse? Finally, she broke the silence. "Amara, where is your dad now?" The girl's eyes welled with tears. She turned her face toward the window. He left," she whispered. Victoria's stomach tightened. "Left? When?" "Last week," Amara's voice cracked. "He said he was going to find work. He said he'd come back, but he didn't." Victoria gripped the steering wheel tighter. She had heard stories like this before, but seeing it, feeling it, was different. "What about your mom?" Amara hesitated, then shook her head slowly. "She's in heaven," she said, barely audible. Victoria's heart sank. She bit her lip, fighting back the rush of emotions. For the first time in years, she felt completely powerless, and yet, something deep inside her knew she couldn't let this child go back to that motel room alone. When they reached Victoria's home, the massive iron gates swung open, revealing the sprawling mansion bathed in golden light. Amara's eyes widened. She pressed her hands against the window, staring at the house like it was a castle from a fairy tale. Victoria parked and turned to her. "Come on," she said softly. "You're safe now." Amara followed her hesitantly, her sneakers squeaking on the marble floors. The warmth inside made her shiver with relief. She had never seen ceilings so high or furniture that looked like art. "Are you hungry?" Victoria asked gently. Amara nodded. "A little." Victoria smiled and led her to the kitchen. Moments later, a plate of steaming pasta sat in front of the child. Amara stared at it, then looked up. "For me?" she asked, as if she couldn't believe it. "Yes," Victoria said, her voice catching. "All for you." As Amara ate in silence, Victoria stepped into the hallway and pulled out her phone. Her hands trembled as she dialed her lawyer's number. She didn't know why she was doing this. Maybe it was instinct, maybe it was destiny. But one thing was clear. She wasn't letting this child go back to that life. In that moment, she made a silent promise. "Whatever it takes, I will protect her." But Victoria had no idea that this decision would lead to a courtroom battle that would shake her entire world and reveal a truth about Amara's father that no one saw coming. 3 days passed, and Victoria began to notice a change in the house. The quiet halls no longer felt empty. Amara's laughter echoed faintly, like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. For the first time in years, Victoria felt something she had forgotten: warmth, purpose, family. One evening, as the golden rays of sunset spilled into the living room, Victoria sat on the couch reading while Amara worked on a puzzle on the floor. Suddenly, the front doorbell rang, sharp and urgent. Victoria frowned. She wasn't expecting anyone. When she opened the door, her heart nearly stopped. A tall man with tired eyes and a scruffy beard stood there. His jacket was torn, his shoes muddy. But his expression wasn't humble. It was cold, calculating. "Where's my daughter?" he demanded, his voice like gravel. Victoria froze. "Your daughter?" "Amara," he said, stepping closer. "Where is she?" Victoria's pulse quickened. She glanced behind her, where Amara peeked from the hallway, fear flashing in her big brown eyes. "Daddy?" Amara whispered. The man's expression softened for a second, then hardened again. "Pack your things, Amara. We're leaving." Victoria stepped between them. "Wait a minute. You left her alone at a motel." "She was starving. I had no choice," he shot back. "I want to find work." His voice rose with anger. "You think you can just take someone's child because you feel sorry for her?" "I didn't take her," Victoria said firmly. "I gave her a safe place. Something you didn't." The man's jaw tightened. "If you don't hand her over right now, I'll call the police." Victoria felt her stomach twist. "Go ahead," she said quietly, even though her hands trembled. "Call them. Let them hear the whole story." The man glared at her for a long moment, then pulled out his phone. Minutes later, flashing red and blue lights lit up the driveway. When the officers arrived, everything became a blur. Victoria explained what happened, but the man claimed she kidnapped his daughter. The officers had no choice. They had to let the court decide. 2 weeks later, Victoria sat in a packed courtroom, her heart pounding as the judge called the case. Amara sat near the front, clutching a stuffed bear Victoria had bought her. The man spoke first, painting himself as a hard-working father who just wanted his child back. He talked about poverty, bad luck, and second chances. He even cried at one point. Then it was Victoria's turn. She stood up, her voice steady despite the storm raging inside her. She told the court everything. The night she found Amara selling pizza in the rain, the motel room, the hunger, the fear in that little girl's eyes. "She didn't ask me for money," Victoria said, her voice breaking. "She asked me for help, and I gave it to her. Not because I wanted to take someone's child, but because I couldn't bear to see her suffer." The courtroom was silent. Even the judge leaned forward, his expression softening. Then came the twist no one saw coming. The state's attorney pulled out a folder and handed it to the judge. Inside were records, police reports, financial statements, and something shocking. The man wasn't just broke. He was deep in debt from gambling. And worse, there was evidence he had planned to sell custody rights of his daughter for cash. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. The man's face drained of color. His lawyer tried to object, but it was over. The judge looked at him with disgust, then turned to Victoria. "Mrs. Whitfield, are you willing to assume full guardianship of Amara?" Tears streamed down Victoria's face as she nodded. Yes, I am." The gavel came down with a sharp crack. "So ordered." Amara ran into Victoria's arms, sobbing with relief. "Are we going home now?" she whispered. Victoria held her tight. "Yes, sweetheart," she said softly. "We're going home." As they walked out of the courtroom, the cameras flashed and reporters shouted questions, but Victoria didn't hear them. All she felt was the small hand in hers, and for the first time in a long time, her heart was full. Outside, the rain had stopped. The sky was clear, and the sun broke through the clouds, as if the world itself had decided this little girl deserved a happy ending. Thank you for watching this incredible story. It reminds us all that kindness can change a life forever. What would you have done if you were in Victoria's place? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming and inspiring real-life stories. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Remember, a small act of compassion can create a miracle. Stay kind, and we'll see you in the next video.